Hi everyone, I hope you had a great Christmas and Happy New Year. Decided to do a quick video today just to show you how to draw buildings, as that's the next bit of our Zentangle project. Just also to explain where we're going next with the project so you are understanding why it relates. These are some nice examples showing what the kind of final piece is going to start to look like for one of your final pieces. Now you can see they're Welsh buildings based on Wales as much as we can. I think there might be a few English buildings as well in the PowerPoint to mix, but we're trying to focus on Wales. We've got Zentangle patterns, so you can notice here we've got Zentangle pattern we used at the start of the year, and we've also got things like this which we looked at the artist research pages, and we looked at these when we were looking at that artist. So these are going to be like our final pieces. I'm not going to do those today, so don't panic about doing absolutely loads at home. We're going to start by just drawing your building, and I'm going to show you a little bit about how to use grids to do that. So you can see here I've got a step-by-step. I've put this on a PowerPoint as well, so you're easily able to see this. I'm going to start with showing you how to draw a grid. I know you might be saying, oh my god, I can't draw a straight line. I also cannot draw a straight line very well. I completely understand. I'm going to show you some techniques just to help you a little bit. But you know, if it's a little bit on the wonk in your book, doesn't matter, or it can be a little bit wonky. It is really important to try to work out the spacings in between the lines. So for example, if it's just the edges and it all goes wonky, it's not that important as long as each square measures the same amount, just to help your proportions. Now you don't have to use a grid. Some of the drawings that I've done for you to draw off have not got a grid on them. Some of them do. So you can see absolutely loads and loads of examples there for you. If you're not confident, definitely use the grid. If you are more confident, then you can do the ones without. But I'd rather you have a really good drawing than you to try to just do it completely out of your own head or not properly looking at those. So this is why it helps you look more. It helps you work out where the lines and that are going. So it's part of the reason we do grid up. Now I'm going to show you on this bit of paper here. Now all the grids are 2 centimetres by 2 centimetres on every single one. Now they might have a different amount of boxes in it, so that's the only thing you need to be careful of. So you can see in this bit here that I've got 8 sections when I'm going down, and then 6 sections across. Now it's going to be different on this piece here, for example. You've got the 7 boxes going down instead of the 8. So it's really important for you to double check that before you start, that every single one, all the boxes are 2 centimetres by 2 centimetres. Now I find it easier if I work starting from the edge of the page, because that already gives me a straight line to work off. So first thing is I'm going to go up to 12 on here, because it's 6 boxes across of 2 centimetre boxes. So I've just marked those out there. Do this in pencil, by the way. The only reason I'm doing this in pen is because it shows up so much better when we are recording it. You need to draw really, really lightly your grid, because we're going to rub it out afterwards. This side is going up to 16 because it's an 8 boxes of 2 centimetres. And then I'm just going to draw across here. So that was 16, the last one here, and I'm going to mark out where 12 is. Remember, it was 6 boxes, 6 times 2 equals 12. Right, so that's our main section where our grid's going to be. Now all I'm going to do now is go on the bottom of the line, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then I'm going to match up the dots. Going to do that there on the other side. So that's that way. I'd obviously finish it all off, and then I go now other side and match up those dots as well. And there you have it. You're going to have a 2 centimetre by 2 centimetre grid. Now it's not going to look, it's going to look in the end like, I know, I've lost my final one. Oh, well, I wasn't going to bore you doing my own one, but unfortunately I'm going to have to bore you for a minute because I can't find my one that I have done earlier. So we're going to go up all the sections, and then we go on the other side as well. Right, so after you've done this bit, I said you should have done this in pencil. You've done it really lightly so you can rub it out afterwards so we can't see the grid. You're then going to label it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, so if you're doing the lighthouse, brilliant, because I've broken it down into even easier sets. If you are not doing the lighthouse, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't matter. Just you're going to have to start breaking some of this down yourself. So it might be easier to start this one first. So I'm just going to get this one out here. I did earlier just because the other page is a bit big. Right. Now the reason we use a grid is to help you with proportions. So you can understand. So like if you're drawing a person, for example, that their head isn't like massive and then they have a tiny body. It's the same with a building. We need to make sure it's in proportions. So it's not like really, really, really wide and really short or something like that. So we're going to be looking at proportions using our grid. Now we do it by looking, so for example here, look, box 3. We're going to go across and at the top of box 3, just going into 2, and on number 4 on this way you can see it's just slightly going in that section there. So I'm going to just draw that bit now on my piece of paper. Now I just start with lots of dots. Again, you're doing this in pencil to start with. I'm not going to lie, this is my second video recording because I completely messed up in pen earlier and you can't rub it out, so it's not very useful if you're using pen straight away, because rubbers are there for a reason. Occasionally we make mistakes. Now I'm looking here and I can see third box in the third one there, and it's not quite halfway. We've got the line going upwards to nearly halfway up there. Now this goes down a little bit and then it goes across. Right, so I'm just going to do a little bit of drawing for a minute. Now I want you to work a lot slower than I am now. I would normally be working a lot slower, but obviously being on video I don't want to spend ages on this, and I don't know how to make it so it plays quicker yet. Might do that if we're in lockdown again at any point, but for now it just makes it a little bit easier. So this bit here is going to be a curved section, so you can see it curves around, it goes over here near to there, and then it just about touches this line here. I think I put that dot a little bit far, so about there. And it doesn't need to be perfectly alike, so don't worry if it's not absolutely exactly alike. My one probably won't even be exactly alike. It's just trying to get the proportions nearly there. Now if you're stuck with an angle, it's really easy, if you've got it printed off anyway, to use a ruler or a pencil, something like that, get the angle, drag it across to here, and then I can draw that angle there, and I know that angle is correct. And again, this is a nice curved line here, curve the line there. Now, I did this freehand, but I would probably suggest using a ruler. I'm even going to do it now because I'm a bit too nervous to try to do that. And that goes all the way to box 8, and it's about there in box 8. I'm going to go downwards. So this is all it is. It's matching up in those boxes, so 7 and top of 4. Matching up in those boxes and working out exactly where those lines are going. And it's really important to really look, and you can see I'm constantly looking at my page. I'm not looking that much at this drawing. If you can see, I know it's a bit awkward with the two side by sides, but I'm really looking more at this in the way than this bit here. Now, first section, as I said, you're drawing out all the basic shapes, so that is this bit here. After you've done that, you're going to be working on a bit more detail. So I'm going to take this one away. I was going to be here all day. Right, I'm going to bring this one here up. So, now, as you can see, the lighthouse starts to get more detail in it as we're going closer up. And we're going to do it by using a variety of mark making techniques. Now, you've done loads of Zentangle work, which is a lot harder than this, so don't worry too much. I've also put in some of the ones that I've used on your PowerPoint just to show you as well. So there's railings on the lighthouse, that's this section here. So I'll be doing my straight lines. You can use a ruler, but it's really important just to make sure they're nice and close together for this bit here. For this bit here, you're doing blocks that you're then going to shade in later on. So at the moment, if you use pencil, I said I would prefer use pencil, you can just do the outline of those bits there. Now, this bit here is a gridded bit here, so it's like the bit that the light's contained in. And you can see it goes an angle, then straight. So, angle and straight. By the way, before I did this bit here, if I wasn't working in pen, as I said, I'm just doing it so it shows up better, I would actually rub out all of my grid before I go onto my details, just because it's a real pain to rub it out afterwards. So rub out your grid before you start this if possible. If not, then if you've already got your grid now, I'd rub it out before we get too much further. But try to get it so that you can then concentrate on the rest of your work. So I'm going to get some of the lines going down, and then after you've got those lines, it's those curved lines again, because it's a 3D object, so I'm curving my lines on there. Now this bit here is all the rust in the lighthouse, so it's all these kind of jagged sections, and it's quite freehand, so it's not like really straight or anything like that. It's nice fluid lines, so that means they move really nicely and freely. It's not like really strict tight ones. The way, sorry if I am a bit harder to understand today, but my retainers are on and it makes me get a bit of a lisp. So I'm getting in all the bits now, including like your door and things like that on my lighthouse. I did my door a bit too small there, so you can make it bigger. But get all that done is the next bit. As I said, just to help you, I've got all the detailed bits there. After you've done that, you're rubbing them out, and you should end up with your final bit. Oh, it's all on the floor, how useful. Here we go. So you should end up with something like this after you rubbed it out. Now, after you've got it all perfect in pencil, I want you to go over it in a black pen. If you have a fine liner like me, that is brilliant. This is like a cheapy one, but if you have anything around, obviously these come out a bit nicer. If not, use a black biro, so just your normal one that you'd use for school. Now, the only thing when you're using pen that I would recommend, if you're right-handed like me, I tend to work from top left down to this side here. It stops my hand from smudging everything because I'm really clumsy. If I was left-handed, I would work from the right hand and go down that way, just to stop you smudging all your lovely work. Now, I only want you to get one building if possible drawn at the moment. Now, it'd be really nice then if you try to do some more. We're not just doing one final one, we're going to try two, hopefully. But only get to this bit. After that, I'm going to do hopefully another video for next lesson showing you how to do your Zentangle bit. So when you've got to this bit here, keep hold of it, and I'll upload another video next week. If we are not back in school, if we're back in school, awesome, we can do it then instead. And I'll start to talk to you about compositions, so how you put your design on your work. And we're going to talk about those patterns again before drawing them on. Now, if you have any questions at all, email me or get me on Google Classrooms at any point. I will always be contactable via Classrooms or email during school hours, and sometimes I'll actually be in the school as well. And if you are stuck at all, as said, just email and I can help you then. But try to draw a building this week. Give it your best go. If it doesn't end up perfect, do not worry. You are year 7, you're just starting this journey here now. We're just starting to look at proportions, and the reason why, if you can see a little bit behind me, I know you've not been in my art rooms before, there is a final piece from year 11 a few years ago, and that is all her portraits now. They can learn how to do those types of portraits that are above us because they have looked into proportions and started to work on those from year 7. We don't expect them perfect now at all. We want to start to get you used to using these so that you are able to do something like that if you take GCSE with me when you get to that age. Right, again, hope you had a great Christmas, and hopefully I will see your work soon. Bye.